FTL was released 13 years ago, and for 13 years we have been waiting for a sequel that was never going to happen. Today, it is my pleasure to tell you that someone got so sick of waiting that they made a one-for-one, and then some, clone. Void War is a space combat simulator with a heavy coat of 40k paint. Unlike FTL, there's a much greater emphasis on crew combat. There are multiple weapons, armors, tools, and psychic abilities that you can outfit your crew with. You start by choosing your commander. Commanders are extremely powerful units, usually with a gimmick that makes them quite strong, such as spawning 3 minions that explode into clouds of toxic gas, or the ability to teleport into any room on your ship or the enemy ship at will. But if your commander dies, then it is an immediate game over. There are 10 commanders and 18 ships to unlock at the time of writing this, and each one has a unique layout and starting crew, and with more coming once a full release is out. Some ships have weapons which sole purpose is to deal damage to enemy crew, while others are focused on quickly bursting down the enemy ship's shields to deal hull damage. Crew members fall into one of the many factions, such as Raiders, Imperials, Death Cultists, and Machine Slaves, to name a few. Psychics offer an entirely different style of play, having abilities that can damage enemy ships, cure debuffs, cause debuffs, teleport, or spawn minions. When you've picked your ship, commander, and difficulty level, you're thrown into the game and greeted with a story splash screen, which gives your run a little bit of backstory to get you started. You'll then immediately choose your first destination to warp to. There are 4 types of nodes to pick from. Unvisited nodes are random encounters. These are the most common and have a chance to begin a combat encounter or the choose your own adventure type story situation, where you'll have to plan the consequences of your actions carefully. These are presented by a text box detailing a scenario, usually in which something is going wrong, and you can either choose to help, ignore, or sabotage 2 rivaling factions. Listening post nodes offer a chance to commune with the sector's god or ruler, in hopes of joining up with them to receive boons and tailored weapons. Shipyards offer a brief respite from battles. Here you can repair your hull for no charge, create a machine slave ally, scavenge for munitions, which are missile ammo, or heal your crew to full health. Then there are merchant nodes that have inventory of a specific variety. All of these things can be bought with scrap. You get this from destroying enemy ships, selling excess parts, and from your choices of dialogue options through random events. Scrap can also be used to upgrade your ship's systems. Your systems are powered by your reactor, which has a finite amount of power. Choosing what to leave powered on and what isn't necessary is up to you. The majority of your time playing will be spent engaged in ship-to-ship combat, where you'll be moving your crew around repairing broken modules on your ship, firing weapons, and routing your limited power meter to the most vital functions, launching crew members to board enemy ships, and so on. Combat is in real time, but it can be paused to aim weapons and issue orders at will. There are small, medium, and large rooms, and only so many units can fit inside of them. Keeping this in mind is vital for efficient usage of abilities, and some crew weapons gain buffs when used in the correct rooms. When it comes to your ship's weapons, you can choose what room to target. For example, if you shoot at an enemy's ship's... If you shoot at the enemy's ship generator. For example, if you shoot at the enemy's shield... Jesus Christ, why can't I fucking say this? If you shoot at the enemy's shield generator, their shields will temporarily be down if damage is done. If you damage a ship's engines, the ship cannot dodge your attacks. Damage done to any ship's systems must be manually repaired by crew members, or remotely with abilities and consumables. There are some fun tricks you can do to make combat a little more advanced, such as interrupting a spellcaster on the enemy ship by dealing damage to them, or if you are playing with beam weapons, you can go pixel hunting for the perfect slice to hit as many rooms as possible for insane damage. There are up to 12 difficulties to unlock. These are called torment levels. The first level increases trader selection, and in my opinion, is mandatory for optimal fun. They also come with some heavy drawbacks, like reducing the amount of scrap you receive, harder bosses, and enemy artillery expansion. After Torment 4 is when you will really start to see the difference. One of my favorite yet inefficient playstyles involves having the White Commander on the Corpse Mothership, wherein I immediately destroy my opponent's guns and fling 13 zombies into their hull, where they slowly rip apart the crew, leaving noxious fumes which slowly pick off their survivors. I say inefficient because while the emphasis on CQC is a nice improvement over FTL, the enemies later in a run become so tanky that you would need a fully geared crew to handle the large number of beefed up tank units that are on boss ships. With this in mind, your offense can't be fully invested into one niche. It needs to be spread across multiple avenues of damage if you want to succeed. Unfortunately, since this is a roguelike, you are bound somewhat by the luck of the draw, where if you can't find any decent weapons, ship parts, or the right crew members for the job, you are destined to fail. My single big gripe that I do have with Void War is that the text can be a little overbearing, and can definitely fatigue the eyes after a while. The font itself is very nice and fitting, but everything in the game uses this font, with only a few variations to text color to differentiate buffs, debuffs, and highlighted options. That being said, this game is everything FTL is, and then much, much more. I love watching my little zombies do damage. I love finding a rare weapon that lets me run around slaughtering the enemy crew on their ship. And I love the 40k aesthetic on top of all of it. It's an incredibly fitting atmosphere, and I'm surprised this hasn't been done before. An early game cheese I've discovered is that if you immediately put all of your scrap into boosting your shields, most ships don't have the firepower necessary to penetrate them, so as long as you have some way to deal damage, you're almost assured victory. And since you'll want to have your shields maxed out by the time you reach the sector boss, it's a win-win. Also, the siege missile system is absolutely broken and should be picked up whenever it is found. I would not be surprised if this gets nerfed in the final release, as it can easily take down and prevent enemy shields from recovering for a very small fee. Void War gets 20 zombies out of 1 Imperial citizen, an immediate buy. If you pick up the alpha right now on the itch.io page, which I will have linked in the description, you get access to a discounted price and the full alpha with every update. And when it eventually releases on Steam, you can transfer your purchase for no cost at all. You also get access to the game's official Discord server if the discount wasn't enough. Thank you for watching.